Hey friends, today I'm going to read one of my very favorite books. It's called A Visitor for Bear by Bonny Becker, illustrated by Kady MacDonald Denton. I really love this book so much, and it won an award called the E.B. White Read Aloud Award, which basically means it's a really, really good book. So this book is about feelings, it's about friendship, and let's just see what happens. I hope you like it like I do. Oh yeah, here are the main characters. There's Bear and Mouse. And here's a picture of Bear's house. No one ever came to Bear's house. It had always been that way, and Bear was quite sure he didn't like visitors. He even had a sign, because the sign says, "No visitors allowed." Look how big he wrote "no." Does it look like he's looking for a friend? I think not. One morning, Bear heard a on his front door. When he opened the door, there was a mouse, small and gray and bright-eyed. "No visitors allowed," Bear said, pointing to the sign. "Go away." He closed the door and went back to the business of making his breakfast. So there's the sign again. He's really not very friendly, is he? We don't even know what the mouse wanted. He set up one cup and one spoon. But when he opened the cupboard to get out one bowl, what do you think's going to happen? There was the mouse, small and gray and bright-eyed. Look at his face. He looks surprised, don't you think? I don't think he was expecting that, and there's the little mouse in the bowl. "I told you to leave," cried Bear. "Perhaps we could just have a spot of tea," said the mouse. "Out," commanded Bear. "Most sorry," said the mouse. "I'll be going now." Bear showed him to the door and shut it firmly. Look, he's carrying him by the tail. Can you see that? Then he went back to the business of making his breakfast. But when he opened the bread drawer for one slice of bread, do you think the mouse is going to be in there again? If he is, I wonder how he keeps getting in. Oh, there he is. There was the mouse, small and gray and bright-eyed. Look, it looks like he's saying, "Ta-da!" And look at the bear's face. He looks mad. "Unbelievable!" rumbled Bear. "Away with you! Vamos!" "Well, I do like a bit of cheese," said the mouse. Bear pointed a rigid claw toward the door. "Yes, then, here I go," said the mouse. "Farewell!" And the mouse whisked out the door. Look at the bear's face. Do you see how he's yelling? He's not really being particularly friendly now, is he? He's got some feelings. I think they're angry feelings. This time Bear shut the door very firmly and locked it tight. He locked the windows too, for good measure. He's really trying hard to make sure that mouse won't come back. Then once again he went back to the business of making his breakfast. But when he opened the fridge to get one egg, do you think the mouse could get into the refrigerator? How could that happen? Let's see if he does. There was the mouse, small and gray and bright-eyed, of course. "Be gone!" roared the bear. Look at his mouth. That is definitely a yelling, angry mouth. And there's the little mouse right here sitting in the eggs. I don't know how he got in the refrigerator. "A crackling fire?" ventured the mouse. "This is impossible! Intolerable! Insufferable!" cried Bear, shaking with anger and disbelief. "Well, terribly sorry," murmured the mouse. "Now you see me, now you don't. I'm gone." And the mouse looked very sorry indeed while he waited for Bear to unbolt the door and let him out again. Bear is really not happy. I wonder how Mouse is feeling right about now. He's been yelled at. He's been thrown out of the house. He's been carried by his tail. This time, before he went back to the business of making his breakfast, Bear shut the door very, very, very firmly, locked it, boarded the window shut, stopped up the chimney, and even plugged the drain in the bathtub. He's really trying hard to make sure that mouse doesn't come back. Carefully, Bear set about the business of making his breakfast. He opened the cupboard. No mouse. He opened the bread drawer. Nothing. Phew! I think he's starting to feel better. Maybe. He opened the fridge. Mouse free. Yes, indeed. He lifted the lid to the tea kettle. Do you think the mouse is going to be in there? What do you think? There was the mouse, small and gray, and well, you know the rest. Bear fell to the floor and wept. I give up, he blurred. You win, I'm undone. Look at him. He's blubbering on the floor. Blubbering means crying really hard. So sorry, said the mouse, but perhaps if I could just have a bit of cheese and a cup of tea. And do you think we could unstop the chimney and have a nice fire? Bear blew his nose with a loud honk. But then you must go, he sniffled. No visitors allowed. You have my word, said Mouse. Look at him, he's blowing his nose in his apron. Bear unshuttered and unboarded the windows. He unlocked the door, unstopped the chimney, and unplugged the drain. Think they're going to get to be friends? Maybe. He brought out 2 plates of cheese and 2 teacups, and he made a crackling fire in the fireplace for 2 sets of toes. The mouse warmed his feet and nibbled and sipped, and Bear did too. They sat for a long while. The clock in Bear's house ticked loudly. Tick, tick, tick. Look how little the mouse is. He's got a little teeny tiny teacup. So cute. Bear cleared his throat. Mouse looked most attentive. No one had ever been most attentive to Bear. The fire is nice, Bear announced. Lovely, said the mouse. No one had ever said Bear's fires were lovely. I can do a headstand, said Bear. Oh, very impressive, exclaimed the mouse. Do you think maybe Bear does like having company after all? He just didn't know it. Bear told a joke. The mouse laughed heartily. No one had ever laughed at Bear's jokes before. Bear began to think of another joke. The mouse set down his teacup. Bear quickly lifted the teapot. Oh, there's plenty more, he said. Do you think Bear wants him to stay now? Kind of seems like he does. So sorry, said the mouse, most kind of you, but I must be on my way. Really, you needn't go, said the bear. I'm off, said the mouse, springing up from the chair. Wait, cried Bear. But the mouse stepped out the door. Toodaloo, said the mouse. There he goes. Seems like to me maybe now Bear is feeling a little bit sad. Maybe he really wants the mouse to stay. Don't go, wailed Bear, throwing his body across the path. But I gave you my word, said the mouse, pointing at the no visitors sign. See, no visitors allowed. Oh, that, cried Bear, pulling down the sign and tearing it up. That's for salesmen, not for friends. Now he thinks that he and Mouse are friends. He's not mad anymore, and they got to be friends. Not for friends? Asked the mouse, small, gray, and bright-eyed. Bear nodded. The mouse's bright eyes glowed brighter. Bear smiled. Look, I love this. They got to be friends. First, Bear wasn't very nice, but now they're friends, and I think they're both feeling a lot happier. Do you like 1 lump or 2? Said Bear most politely. I like 2, said the mouse, and Bear agreed. So if someone says a lump, that means they're talking about, when it's talking about tea, it's talking about a little lump of sugar. It's like a little sugar cube. You put it to make your tea sweeter. I really like that they got to be friends after all. It's such a great book. I hope you like that book as much as I do. And I'd love you to tell me what your favorite part is. All right, happy reading, friends.